Welcome to the Tranquil Garden. This is a deluxe craft pad. I'll explain what that means in just a minute. This is from our friends at Hunkydory, and Heidi has done some wonderful things with this, and this is one of them. Isn't that great? Look at that. How fun. Yes. Okay, this is just one of the goodies, so won't you please come play with us? Well, let me show you what's inside. You will get 4 collections, and let me just show it to you this way to begin with. They are all labeled at the top. This happens to be Butterfly Kisses, and you can see that these are the foil die cuts that we've come to know and love from Hunkydory. There will also be one of the adorable Scorable, that's their cardstock, that is foiled, and that's included. They're single-sided, and then there will be another one that is printed. Then there will also be some inserts. Now the inserts have artwork that is kind of ghosted back. It is lighter, and there's going to be, I believe it's 2 for every collection, and these are all shown on the back of the package. And so 1, 2, 3, 4 of the foiled. You can see the matching adorable Scorable. You can see the matching inserts. Now, I will tell you, you can kind of mix and match them pretty easily, but you know, that's just for you to decide. And let me show you the top sheets that have the foiling on them. So here is the first one, which is called Pretty and Pink. How gorgeous. So you're going to see Tranquil Gardens is going to have flowers, it's going to have butterflies. Here is Perfect Peonies, and here is Butterfly Kisses, that one I just showed you. And this is Bountiful Blooms. And then again, we get into the cardstock, and they pretty much start with either the foiled or the printed. This happens to be the printed. You get 4 of them, 1 for each collection. Then you're going to get 4 that are foiled. As you can see, as I wiggle it under the lights, just so pretty. And then you're going to get into the inserts. And the inserts are lighter weight. Now, even though they're called inserts, that doesn't mean that you can't use them on the card front. But you can. In fact, Heidi has demonstrated that for us. So I'm just flipping through these just so you get a good look. And the craft pad, which is what this is called, Deluxe Craft Pad, that is the only way that you're going to get all of those pieces together in one place. So it's something I just think is really special. Okay, let's get started with that first card, which I think is just absolutely stunning. And what Heidi has used is the Perfect Peonies. And so you can see all of those. And so I kind of wondered when I saw this, I thought it was so pretty. I thought, well, how did you get that kind of wiggly piece? Are we going to have a diagram, or what's going to happen? And what she did, clever woman, is this is the foiled sheet that has the butterflies on it. You see that foiling? So she took her 5 by 6.5 inch card and opened it. And then she took over here on the darker area, and she cut a piece that was 3.5 inches wide by 6.5 inches tall. Glued that on the inside front next to the score line. Okay, so in doing that, because you want to have the rest of this to cover the other side of the card, so it's important to do this little piece and just to use that little bit. So then she took this wiggly piece and placed it at the fold, and then glued it down to the tip, and then cut the card. So that worked nicely. Then she glued, this is our violet suede, and isn't that striking on this card? So she glued that to the front and trimmed it to be equal to that squiggly line. And then you've got a lot of velvet left too. Okay, so very clever. I've not seen this done before, and I think it's brilliant. Now, this is the piece she's using. There are 3 layers. So there's this outside printed layer, there is a gold layer, and then the artwork. So she separated them, and she took the biggest one, that printed, and attached it to the suede kind of toward the top, but not going over the edge of the card because you want to get this into the envelope. Then she took the solid gold one, that's that one right there, and attached it again on the left side right here. And then this piece, which is the centerpiece, that's foam taped over the middle. So you have this wonderful group of 3 circles. Now the happy birthday is on this sheet also, and that gets foam taped right down there. Then we flip to the inside. Oh, I guess I should tell you one more thing too. Heidi loves making perfect bows, and the woman uses Hunkydory's bow maker, and this time she has used the 1/8 inch, and she uses that on this card and the next card. So I'll put it in the next pile. And now we have the inside, so that's been done, and she took that very long tag that is foiled and attached it right there. And then this whole center area is using the rest of the pattern side. She's not using this border, so I will tell you that's going to make a beautiful slimline card, actually, wouldn't it? Okay, so you use that later. So she's going to take the lighter color and glue that to fit. And then this square piece right here, you want to do that so it will not be showing. So it's going to get hidden behind the circle. So that's nice. And then have a beautiful day. That has been foam taped. And then You're So Lovely is foam taped right there. And look how that shows another circle within a circle. So I think that's just great. Absolutely well done. And then, because she wasn't done, the woman uses our jewel dazzles beautifully, and you can see them. They're always on the body of the butterfly and then kind of sprinkled throughout. Butterfly is going to get a dazzle. Butterfly over there is going to get one too. And this is the cream out of the 1/8 inch ribbon, just zotted right there. So I think that's pretty spectacular. Okay, we're going to go to our next card. And Heidi has done some interesting things here too. So you can see that there is an evacuated space and something else on the inside. So this is the second time she's used the inside of it. Now for this, she has used, well, I'm not going to get to that yet. Okay, let me come in here. Got ahead of myself, sorry. This is Pretty in Pink. So that's where the foiled pieces are going to come from. But first, she's going into the patterned Adorable Scoreable, and she's using this area to get ready with the front of her card. So it's just pretend like it's totally pink. That's going to get covered all over. Then she took this piece and she punched out the hydrangea that's in the middle. So pop that out, took this piece, that rectangle, and matted it on the purple that is in Floral Luxury. Okay, so you can see all those gorgeous, gorgeous colors. And so she matted it on there with 1/4 inch borders. And then she placed that, attached it to the front of her card. And then she took her card, which at that point doesn't have anything else on it, and placed it on a self-healing mat, because she is going to cut out that space that is evacuated. So you can use a craft knife. We like the retractable pen because it's going to release a very thin blade, a very sharp blade, but nicely, when you push this button, that will retract, so you're not going to lay your arm onto a blade, which is not pretty. Plus it gets blood all over your papers, and that's not okay. So you want to use something that's going to be safe. So she used this to cut on that space. Now, that's going to work quite nicely. Now, she also decorated it. So let me show you. She used our white border dazzles and placed them on the outside of this piece. And it just, see, it's got a white, I can show it to you right here. It's got a white edge, but she's just expanded that white edge, and I think it looks really striking. Now the spread your wings, that's also a foiled piece, and that has just been foam taped only on the left. Again, she used the bow maker and that 1/4 inch ribbon because it's got a whole bunch of colors, and a zotted one right there. Now we'll get in close because I think it's fun what she's done on the corners. And let me scoot this down. Okay, so we've got the borders, and then she took a big white jewel dazzle like this and put a tiny pink jewel dazzle in the center. And it just kind of finishes when let's zoom back a little bit. And you can see it just kind of finishes those corners. I thought that was very nice. Now she did use the pink jewel on those 4 sections as well as the corners. Okay, now we're going to go to the inside of this card. And there we are. Now, I have to tell you, I struggled to find, in fact, I even texted her, where did she get this border that is blue? I could not find it. I couldn't see it. Well, doggone her, smart woman that she is, she used this piece, and you see how it's got a blue border? Well, she just cut right along the edge of that piece, removed this, and then attached the frame to the inside, and that piece matches the shape and everything, but I couldn't see it. I was looking for something like this, but that's all she did, so I thought that was good. Now, I do have to tell you that what Heidi did is she used these 2 butterflies, she used this butterfly, and she used that butterfly. Now, you can do that, or you can pull butterflies from other places if you want to keep these intact, so your choice. But what she did is she cut this out using scissors with this, and you can see where she attached it there. Now she did fold that wing next to the body and curved it with her fingers. Now this one is this butterfly. You can see it right there. And again, folded those next to the body and then just attached the body both places. She also put the pink jewel dazzles down the bodies. Now these corners, okay, they came from right here. Now they're foiled on the outside, and that's where she attached them to right there. So that just worked nicely. Sent with Love is foam taped in place. Now for this, she used the Floral Luxury cardstock. You can see it's got a dark purple and it's got a light purple too. But she used that and covered it. And then she took the center, remember going back to the front of the card, the center of that, positioned it so that it would still show, but it has some depth. And she put the For Someone Special just right here so that it would show when the card is closed. And I thought that was nice. So it's For Someone Special, Spread Your Wings. So that's really sweet. Now this one, she also took this border and cut it into 2 pieces and placed it, as you can see, going down here and right there. And these 2 butterflies are the butterflies that were right here. Same thing, just fold them next to the bodies and attach them and put pink dazzles in the center. And then she also, while she did the pink jewel, she put the pink border around the edge of that frame and right along the green borders right there. So that was done. And then the same treatment at the ends that she did on the front of the card. And the tiny pink dazzles are all over the butterflies. Just really nice. So that is a quick version. It took me 2 hours to figure that out. So, and I did write it all with Heidi's help down below in the instructions. Okay, 2 more cards for you. And here is the next one. And it's fun to see a shaped card, isn't it? So here we go. This is, whoops, oh, well, I need to keep that on there, okay, because these haven't been photographed yet. So this is with our new Center Step Plus. What's it plus? Well, it's plus an extra step. So usually the center steps just had one step. Well, this one has 2 steps on each side. So isn't that pretty? Now this has one cutting die. It's 10 inches long and 6 inches wide. So it's going to fit in your regular die cutting machine. And look what she did. She used it on this piece. I'm going to turn it sideways. Okay, there you go. Now you can see it. And let me just open this up so you can see it also. So look at that. Now what you would want to do, because this is 8.5 inches wide, if you have a regular 6-inch wide opening for your cutting die, trim this down to 6 inches and then place the cutting die as I have it and run it through your machine. And you will get all of those score lines, and you can just pop this. And on the back of the package, it will tell you which folds are what, which score lines are which folds. So super easy to do. Okay, so that is our card base, and then you'll have some pieces of it left over, of course. Now, interesting what she did. So that's going to give you a really pretty border, and then this area is going to be solid because that's what that piece is. Okay. So now we're going to decorate those steps, and on the sheet, this is called Butterfly Kisses. You see all of these in a row. Well, they're a little more than 1 inch wide, but what Heidi wants you to do is pop out the 4 that you want, and she has chosen 2 that have butterflies and 2 that have words, and trim them down to 1 inch. So she's got this butterfly and this butterfly, and she did birthday kisses and butterfly kisses and birthday wishes. Birthday wishes, butterfly kisses. Got that? And trim them down to 1 inch and then just foam tape them on each of the steps. Okay. Now she also took this piece. Now we'll get to that in a minute, but I just want to point it out to you right now. So we're going to work on this, and this area comes from one of the inserts. So look at that. And she used our circle cutting dies, and there are 12 in here. And whoops, one has slipped. Okay, so she die cut this piece out of one of, see, these have a circle and they have a scallop. Okay, so this is a circle, and trim that out, and then she just inked the edge. Let's get in close. There's just a little bit of a definition. You can kind of see it there, where she just took the violet ink pad and just rubbed it right against the edge of this circle. Isn't that pretty? And then she took this, and this has, it's kind of a blue lavender piece, and she did the scalloped out of that, foam taped that piece to the card, and then attached the paper to it, and then put in this little oval butterfly. And you can see that she has gold jewel dazzles all over the place. Just, I like her little, this is what Heidi does often with a large one in the corner and 2 little ones next to it, a kind of tri-piece, putting the dazzles where the butterflies are on the steps and here. Okay, now I'm going to go to the inside of the card and show you this. So this is also using this area of the cardstock. Now this is the foiled, and it has that beautiful image in the corner that is foiled. And now you could use the solid cardstock too if you wanted to, but now you can trace this, or you can just put this through your die cutting machine again, whatever you want to do, but to make it match perfectly. Then she took this insert, so she's already used this insert. She took this one, it's got butterflies all over, and cut it to fit right in there, ink the edges with the violet ink pad, and then look at all of the images that she used. Now here we go. You can see them on here. There's just a lot of accompanying pieces on this one. So we've got 2 borders, one with roses and one with little flowers. They're right here. Then we have Let Your Dreams Take Flight on this wonderful day. So that is foam taped right there. Again, now this time purple jewel dazzles, purple and gold is what she's used on this. And in the directions, it gives you the measurements for these. Now this piece is going to come from one of the foiled pieces. And it's going to be one of the ones in the set. So as I'm frantically looking, could you entertain yourselves, please? Okay, I'm not finding it. But you will see in the art, especially on the foil pieces, actually, okay, so like this one, okay, if you wanted to, you could cut off that straight edge and use it, or you could cut off that decorative edge and use it. So there's lots of ways that you can do it. The other thing you can do, okay, this is not in the directions, but you see where all the circles are? Well, at the edge, it's flat. You can trim that off with your paper trimmer and create a strip, just like that. Yes, and we do have straight line dazzles, but that's not what Heidi used, so I don't want to confuse the issue. Now, this is using the crepe ribbon, once again with the bow maker, to make that bow there, and she doesn't have one on the inside. So that takes care of it. A lot of stuff going on with this card, and you would want to use our 10 envelopes because this will fit perfectly in that. Okay, one more card for you, and this is a slimline card. Whoops, we've gone fuzzy. Okay, the camera's getting, will correct itself. So this is a slimline card, but look at that fun decorative piece. So how she did that, super, super easy. So she used, once again, the Floral Luxury cardstock. This is a solid. And again, you've got all those colors. She used the darker purple. And she covered the front of her slimline with that. And then she took this one, okay, right here. And there's three pieces here. On the large ones, there's always three. So there's a patterned frame, a gold frame, and then a centerpiece. So she took the patterned frame, and you see it will fit perfectly on the slimline cards because they're 3.5 inches wide, and glued that in place, keeping the card closed, and then she just trimmed this to fit. So her whole card is this shape. It has just a really nice shape on the top. Then she foam taped the centerpiece in place. And then this has 2 tags. So the butterfly one she glued down. This one she foam taped. She took the circle little butterfly and overlapped it here and glued it down and foam taped the outside edge. And then again with the crepe ribbon from before, she made a bow and soldered it between the two. So really pretty. Now going to the inside, same paper out of the Floral Luxury, covered it. And then she used this. This is, again, one of the inserts. Isn't that pretty? Now, if you do it this way, you can do these multiple times. And I really think the inserts are kind of, they're going to go with all of these or most of these die-cut pieces. So simply trim this down, glue it in place, and then she took the gold piece that was from that first set and put it here, and then put this one, which is just one, and foam taped it in the middle. Isn't that pretty how that fits? And it's the same decorative shape. The Born to Stand Out, I love that, is right there. And again, with the crepe ribbon, zodded. And this again has the purple jewel dazzles on it, into the butterflies and the flowers, and onto the front too. So very, very pretty. Can you see why I think this is such a treasure? This is Tranquil Gardens. It is a deluxe craft pad. I always bring these in because I think they're just such a wonderful value and a wonderful collection. And there's just so much you can do with them, as Heidi has nicely pointed out. There is a money saver, of course there is. I put a lot of the jewel dazzles with this just because they just added such a nice touch, and especially in this case with the blending of the border with the matching jewel. I thought that was really nice, so I've added those into the money saver also. It's on the right-hand side of your screen. The directions are down below, and feel free to print them off if you want, and you can even print off the image of the card too. So if you want to create your own little idea book, that will work nicely. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube, we would love it if you would like us. That helps our rating. And then head on over to Paper Wishes, because at Paper Wishes, that's where you're going to find all of these things that I showed you, many of which can only be purchased at Paper Wishes. So we want to make that super easy for you. I do want to thank Heidi. She's done a wonderful job. And especially, I want to thank you for being the best part of our Paper Wishes family. Okay, we'll see you again. Bye-bye.